So good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Karis, Ivan, good morning.
Good morning, Jamal.
Today I
Good
have
morning, Karis.
my wonderful team, my partners with me from I Am, Jamal and Ivan. Welcome.
Thank
I think
you.
this is actually the first time that we've sat together, should I say publicly, to talk about I Am and ourselves, right?
That's true.
So we talk about it every day privately, but this is the first time together getting our message out there to everyone about why we set up I Am. So perhaps we can start there. Maybe we tell everybody a little bit about ourselves and how we came to meet each other. Ivan, do you want to go first?
Okay, yeah, I will do it. My name is Ivan, like you said. It's very difficult to pronounce my name. So it's Cirkovic, so everyone's struggling. So my first name is enough. First of all, I'm so happy seeing you both together publicly now. What can I say about myself? I'll simplify as much as possible. I was a professional athlete in football who is injuring himself a lot. So that was for me a big lesson to learn actually how not to be injured in future in my life. So one of the reasons was to start with my college. So I am professor of sport physical education with the multiple certifications and a lot of investment of the time and money to add my knowledge more and more. And I am in fitness for now almost 17 years. And I can proudly say that I'm very pleased where I am now. Not only because I'm in Dubai, but also surrounded with amazing people as well. So ex-professional athlete, and now one of the shareholders of I Am.
Jamal, what about you?
Well, let me start by introducing myself. So, Jamal, that's correct. I'm like Ivan Kuravrivovic. I am Jamal Al-Matari. Easy to remember.
Yeah.
I'm into finance, banking, but as well I'm a multitasking person. So I have my own business as well beyond the banking, and I Am, which is a lovely story. We will talk about it. I do have my own company for the landscaping, and I can't believe that we made it. I Am, it's there, and we are meeting now to talk about I Am and about ourselves. Maybe we are behind the scene, and I Am is there, and that's the most important things. And I Am is representing us. We don't represent I Am, but I Am really representing us and the founders of I Am. All of us came from a background different, except Ivan. Me and Karis, we share banking experience, management experience, but we share the fitness experience. So we love fitness because we are bankers. So we should definitely spare time for our health, and we will come to know the name why it's I Am Health and Coaching. So it's more about the health and coaching. And 3 years just went like 3 days. And honestly, it's not 3 years. I can see it. It's like, more than 3 years, 4 years, but it just run like 3 days and 4 days. It's beautiful, to come and achieve something. And this achievement of I Am itself, now it talk about itself. And it's the baby that, we have founded, and all of us take care of it. Each one has a different role in I Am. Most of the role is being played by the hero, our partner, Ivan, where me and Karis, we believe in his leadership and his ethic. And how can he take this business to a different level? Definitely we'll talk more about I Am and why I Am and where I Am will be going, starting from the name and why it's I Am.
Thank you, Jamal.
Thank you both.
Jamal, Karis, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Absolutely. Well, I think the first thing to say is we both, all three of us, we're different, I would say. We come from different backgrounds, but I think there's a lot of commonalities as well between the three of us, which we can maybe talk about later. So I came to Dubai, what would it be, 16 and a half? Almost 17 years ago now. So I'm here with my family. I have 2 boys. As Jamal said, we both come from a background in financial services. I did that for over 20 years. Then about a year and a half ago, started in a different corporate setup, but always been in human resources. So a senior professional in human resources. And yeah, met both of these 2 wonderful people, different times, different places. Jamal I used to work with, so we stumbled upon each other one day in the banking world. I was actually business partnering Jamal, and then I think we just very quickly became friends, colleagues. We used to challenge each other at work, but very clear mutual respect for each other, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Because I remember interviewing with you.
Yeah.
I used to give you a little bit of a hard time. You used to give me a hard time,
Yeah.
but that was the start of a really, really amazing relationship.
I remember that. How did we click quickly, you know, me and Karis? And actually, this is part of the story of I Am.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then I think it was back in 2019. That's when I met you. So very short story, but I had a gym membership, and I think I always tell everybody this. It came with some free coaching sessions, ironically enough. And of course I was like, well, yeah, I'm going to do my training sessions. Why not? Of course, they're for free, like most people do. And I remember getting in contact with the company that Ivan was working with at the time to ask for my sessions. And you can tell a little bit more about this because I think your version of the story is better than mine. But I think it was quite challenging to get time with the right coach, if I'm not mistaken. But I did it, and I really remember, I tell everybody this story. It was completely different to anything I'd done before. So I was always quite fit, quite healthy to my standards, but obviously had children, so I didn't feel like I was strong at all anymore. And I remember the day that Ivan rocked up with this big bag with lots of different assessment equipment, and I was thinking, wow, I thought you were just coming to, teach me how to use the equipment in the gym. And I just remember that point so vividly because it was different to anything I'd experienced before. He was able to tell me things about myself that it was like I remember you saying I had a weak ankle, and then you said, do you have a scar? I said, that's crazy. Yeah, I have a scar on my ankle, limited mobility in one of my ankles. But it was very different because it was all centered around mobility and flexibility. And, and then you put it all together and you realize why those things need to add up for you to be able to do proper strength training in the gym. And I think it was from that moment onwards, I just felt some kind of intuition that there was something quite different about this approach, and definitely different in Dubai. So I don't know, maybe you can tell your version of the story, because I know it's a little bit different to mine.
Well, yeah, I'm not supposed to be your coach. It was by accident. Just, we just did assessment, and we just then moving forward. Even was trying to transfer you to other coach because I was like quite busy and loaded at that time. So I was really forcing that with my team in my previous company. Like, there's one person very serious. She wants to start to training, but we need to have consistency, because one of the first things that when I saw in you is like, okay, I'm working mom, I have hours. This is my timing. There's no flexibility. I was like, okay, this sounds sharp, but actually was making sense. This is where I was start knowing a little bit more about your personality. And then suddenly the time slot opened. So one of my clients changed the time for the morning, see the afternoon open up for you. So I was like, okay, let's give a shot. And then when you started, you've been so consistent, and the results you made are really amazing. I'm very proud of that. And then better the story with about Jamal. So when I knew more about you, and knowing how that you surrounded us with very quality people, like well-chosen, not many of them, but well-chosen one. And then I realized when I met Jamal, it's like, okay, this is now something what is connecting us all. It was very strange feeling in a way that you just feel that energy. There's so many similarities. I'm seeing drive in you, drive in Jamal. I see drive in myself. Like it's to start connecting the dots. I mean, story behind how I met Jamal is better, you know better. But just seeing Jamal, and I felt that, when he entered in assessment room, I was like, okay, there's something about this. So it's really, we're mentioning a lot, in I Am, emotional health, strength, but there's also something what we're doing together, like we're feeling each other as well, and we are able to express each other. This is the thing I think why it was very important for me personally and professionally to say, okay, I really trust these people, and I would like to move forward with them. So not to lead them, that's with them. So we are a team. So this is why I'm never underestimating, the value we created in the beginning.
I'm trying to recall when Jamal and I started talking about the gym, but I think it was probably in a meeting room while we were interviewing people, and we realized there was some commonality. But all I do remember, and then I'll let Jamal tell the story, is I can probably say hounding him, because there was some kind of very strong intuition that I felt. I don't know what other place it came from, but I really persevered with this, didn't I, Jamal?
I think, Karis, when we start building the relation, me and you, and we start, knowing each other more and more, and then a lot of interview sessions we used to have, me and you. So in the break, we used to talk a little bit about where you're training, where is your gym. I came to know she's training in some of the gym that I know, and I know also the owners. And later on, I found Karis. Jamal, I need to introduce you to a very, very quality trainer, and you have to meet him. You have to meet him. So I told her, yes, for sure. Anyway, Karis always know that I'm busy. So, Ivan, you're not the only one who's busy, yeah?
Yeah.
And she told me, you have to meet him. So I said, yeah, definitely. I'm going to free my time and I'll meet him. Did not happen. So Karis back again to me. Jamal, you remember the guy that I spoke about him? We needed to meet him. I told her, yeah, I'm going to do that one. She told me, when do you want to meet him?
That's Karis.
So
I think it was 10 times, at least 10 times.
So it repeated like, 7 to 10 times. It's not that I don't want to meet Ivan, but, I'm busy and I'm training already in my own gym. I have my own personal trainer, and I did not find it in that time that, to go and travel to a different gym with a different personal trainer. But Karis, she insists to meet Ivan. And it looks that, she has to increase the attempt. So she starts using now additional
Tools.
attempts, yes, tools. And
call it
WhatsApp
persistence.
messages, telephone calls, until she booked the time and she booked the training with the assessment with Ivan. And here the relation started. I went, I was ready. And I thought in my mind, I'm going to just meet with an ordinary or a normal personal trainer who will just tell me, okay, what's your weight and what you want to achieve. I was going ready for this kind of questions.
Mm-hmm.
I enter the small was place.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's busy. It was something different. I have not experienced it earlier. I met Ivan and we shake hands. I look at his eyes and I found him that he's sharp. And I click immediately with him with this first look. The question that he asked me, for how long you been training?
Mm-hmm.
And he opened the dialogue, which takes him 10 minutes to know me personal. And immediately he put me in assessment with him. And, I was thinking that, I'm a fit guy and, I'm going to do everything. The techniques he used with me, I have not experienced it before. And it takes me around 45 minutes with him, closely monitoring me, monitoring even my movement, my positioning. I left from there and I said, I want to meet Ivan again. I called immediately Karis and I told her, thank you for making it happen. And actually, till today, I always say to Karis, thank you, Karis. from here the relation start, and immediately I start training with Ivan, and we start leveraging the relation. The quality I have found from Ivan, not only in the part of the training, but the personal touch, which was totally always there. And I believe this personal or human touch is what all of us looking for. It's not only about training session, spending 1 hour or more than an hour, but it's everything around the training. And I found Ivan something different from the human being, the training, the extra attention that he gave. And I found that there is something is building between me and Ivan. And from there, we start discussing different ideas. And Karis was always there, asking how it went with Ivan today. How was the training today? What do you think about Ivan? And this close relations that happened between Karis and Ivan, and ultimately between me and Ivan, and after that 3 of us reach to start thinking bigger. It's the time now to make something different, and we came with the beautiful decision, founding IAM, finding something different. We look for something unique. So we started even from the name. I'm not going to talk how did we get the name. I would let Karis definitely to talk the name. But the name been chosen by 3 of us, and there was a lot of surprise happen until the name became a reality for us, and we all agreed that yes, this will be the name. And there was a lot of given hints, to choose the name.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Oh,
well, I'm
you.
definitely not
Thank
going to
you,
take the
Jamal.
credit for the name, because if you remember, Ivan was the one that came up with the name. I feel like you'd been thinking about it for a really long time, and it was just almost instantaneous. We were all like, yes. But maybe you can tell us a little bit about why you came up with I Am.
But because I think, first of all, 2 of you, because you showed to me as a human being such a uniqueness, and I can say like such a good heart, sharp mind, professionalism, everything what you did in your careers, but also you somehow transfer this uniqueness to me, and also understanding also myself. So I came from that we are all different, and that we need to accept each other as we are, with all strengths and weaknesses, or area for development, I like to say, not the weakness. So just saying I am, it's also differentiating us as a human beings from rest of the world, which is very important. This is why we want to focus on delivering message outside, about the health and strength. Why is that important for each person? But looking globally, it's very important for all world.
And I think after the name came about, that was when we sat down and agreed the colors, right, for the company as well, which is obviously kind of orange, white, yellow, blue. So for us, a lot of that is about, I remember one of my friends helped us with that energy, well-being, determination, kind of spirit. So it all just came together really nicely. But I don't think there was any question about the name. I think we were all really, really clear about the
quickly,
name.
yeah.
And it's interesting what Jamal said about how we met. I do recall literally hounding him, but it was, I get asked this a lot because I think the 3 of us are, from very different backgrounds. So there are similarities, especially with, our background in terms of the work environment. But I was always told I had quite a strong intuition, and there was just something, there's only been 2 or 3 times in my life I've had that very strong intuition. But I think the only reason I can put my persistency down, literally hounding Jamal to go and meet this person, was because I felt like something was going to happen, really from a very early stage. I don't know why, it was different. I felt we had a lot of commonality, and I just felt like it was something pursuing. I really don't think otherwise I would have pushed you that much to go and meet Ivan. And it took us some time, right? If we think about how we came about setting up the company, it's not like it just happened overnight.
No,
I think it was a good few months. You were working for another company. COVID hit, obviously, and I was training online. I think that's where I became even more passionate about health and strength because, you know, trying to do a full-time job at home, homeschooling the children, needing some kind of outlet for myself. And I think I started doing 3 times a week from my garage. Jamal, that was another thing. I mean, both of you, very kind human beings, very selfless. I think that was always something I admired in both of you. I remember Jamal literally having weights delivered to my house because I couldn't get them. They were sold. They were sold out everywhere because everyone was trying to, you know, create little home gyms during COVID. And I just remember one day these weights turned up at my house from out of nowhere. And of course it was Jamal. It's like a bit like an older brother. I can always rely on Jamal for things like that. But I think then you started, for one of my previous companies, you actually started doing some online training for them, which then turned into some corporate training. And I think that was another reason why we got the idea, because we realized that there were so many other people that we could help. You know, I think if we look at, you know, people across the globe, there's so much information to hand about how people can be fit and healthy, but yet still people continue to not be. You know, and of course it's not easy, but I think now our mission really is to try and get the word out there, right? Be different, educate people on how to be better. And I think that's where our strapline came along as well, which is just feel better. You know, we never really wanted to be the rapid body transformation like everybody else sells. We just want people to come to the gym and feel better, because that's how I always think it made me feel. I always knew no matter how bad or stressed I was feeling, I would go to the gym and I would feel better. So, yeah, I think that's...
that's exactly.
Definitely. I mean, maybe your background, Ivan, is obviously health and strength, right? Whereas it's different for me and Jamal. We bring that corporate element to the company. What is it about health and strength that you're so passionate about?
Thanks both for really like such inspiring reminder of how everything started. So health and strength, it's very like a diverse when you say health and strength, but first what we are focusing on is like a physical health and strength, emotional health and strength, but also professional health and strength. So for some people in the beginning that was quite confusing, what do you mean by that? But definitely we want to teach people, you know, how came quite recently, how to use brakes properly. You know, when you drive the car, what is saving your life? It's a brake, not the speed. So we're trying to teach people through our education as well when to use the brake, when to speed up, because unfortunately today everything's about speed. Deliver fast, things are happening very fast results, and unfortunately that can be quite risky, not only for health but also for life in general. So what we're trying to do through health and strength coaching is like teach people, actually educate, as you said, how to use the brakes, when to use the brakes, because everything we do is a bit different. So for example, there's a core exercises, we're doing anti-core exercises. There's for example, squats, we're doing split squats. So we're doing everything different in a way to prevent people not to be injured, to be like a pain-free, but at the same time to build the muscle mass, to be fitter. And this is the question what we're usually getting from the customers when they're calling and we, especially now we have a more influence, like, I want to lose the weight, I want to like gain muscle mass. Like, yeah, you can get that, but it's a part of the journey. This is why we came up also with assessment, imitating actually medical system. So when you go to see a doctor, you need to do some level of assessment. You cannot say, doctor, okay, give me this medicine. Then you don't need a doctor. And just last thing, a few weeks ago, when we become much bigger, which we'll talk a little bit later, I met one of the doctors in the gym. And he was telling me, oh, Ivan, I can see so many good things that are happening, so many things that are like changing here, which again, we'll keep it for later. And I told him something what I was always thinking. I told him, we just want to engage this culture that introduce the culture actually of we should be part of the medical system, at least on the end of the chain of this medical system. He told me, and that was brainstorming from me, he told me, no, Ivan, I think you should be in the beginning of the medical system. So everything should start from us, educating people how to exercise properly, to exercise regularly, and how to progress, how to create resilience. And I was actually like very impressed what he said. We should, as a fitness company and providing health and strength center coaching, we should do it at the first place for people, not in the end.
So clearly, as we said, Ivan is the brains behind the company, obviously coming from a background of health and strength. But perhaps we could tell people what we all contribute to the company, because I think we all play a slightly different role, right? I mean, Jamal and I obviously have full-time jobs. So I think that's one of the challenges that we found as we've set up this company. Time starved a little bit, so and I know that's probably difficult for Ivan, you know, and same for a lot of partnerships out there, I guess. You know, we give what we give, but we do have other responsibilities as well. So I don't know, maybe Jamal, your perspective on that.
The journey started, I believe, from the time that you have introduced Ivan to me, and when I met Ivan, I felt that there will be something from this. And I believe not only me, I think three of us, maybe we did not talk about it, maybe we didn't share it. But we have shared the idea within ourselves. So I am has been burned in our mind and our soul when we just met. And this is the idea that, you know, we have make it happen. But what make this I am to be there, I believe, is passion, number one. Comes with the patient, and there was a lot of patience from all of us, and the opportunity. So we looked to the three of it, and we start working. I remember when I was training with Ivan every day, after the session or before the session, we are touch base. What's next? Until we came to the decision. And the beauty that, you know, the decision did not take a lot of time to happen. And in the business, but I have found after all of this experience, there is a decision that, you know, has to be taken immediately. You cannot keep postponing to take the decision. And we plan it. All of us, we participate in the planning. Me and Karis, yes, we are busy also with a lot of things. But we've been finding the time to do the planning. Each one in his position, in his way. But we all know why we wanted to find I am. And what we get, I respond after Ivan start training me, training Karis. We've seen what the people reactions. I remember when we are training in the gym, me and Ivan, people, they were looking for how Ivan's training Jamal, and okay, what this new technique? Who's this new man that, you know, coming with Jamal? Jamal being there almost 14, 15 years, you know, in this in the gym. We never seen someone with him. Who's this? So everyone was curious about Ivan. They have found something different. So it's not only me or Karis that we found this something. Even those specialists, they have found that there is something new is coming. And didn't take us much time to convince the people of Ivan first. So Ivan has convinced them with his ethic, with his experience, with his different technique, I can call it. We believe in it. We believe in I am, and we wanted, you know, to give a time to find it, and we have given this time. We believed in I am because we believe in Ivan itself. I remember Ivan. He was the only PT that time. So he was a business partner, he was the PT, he was everything. I believe the bag of Ayam talks more than us, because he was having this travel bag from morning till night. The car of Ayam will talk more about Ayam and how we reached there. So there was passion, there was dream to bring this alive. And me and Karis, we believed much about this dream. And we wanted to go and to do whatever to make it happen. I'm proud of what we have achieved, because it wasn't easy to achieve it. I'm proud to see people talking about Ayam now. I'm proud that I'm sitting now having this broadcast. I'm always proud when I talk about Ayam. I'm proud when I'm hearing people talking about Ayam. I know people, they've been training with me, training in the gym for a long time. And when they knew that we have founded Ayam and Ayam is taking over the gym, they become more happy, they become more excited. And the feedback was always good, it was always positive. You should be proud, Ivan, of what personally you have achieved. Me and Karis,
We all
on the
achieved.
management side, yes. But in the end, there was a huge achievement that, come from you to award Ayam. All the positive feedback comes because there is always hard work has been done. So the repetition that we are looking for, it is there. It has been exceeded the expectation. People to believe about what we are doing, it's a big achievement. We will continue. We will grow more. Our dream still not been achieved fully, because we know that still we can go farther.
And I think, if we're honest, Ivan doesn't like us talking about him.
No.
But it was probably one of the biggest challenges about the company in the early days was, I think we were trying to replicate Ivan, because we knew that the company was founded around him, right? And the passion that he had for this and his determination. I used the word earlier, but being very selfless. And I think when you meet someone that just wants to help people, which is rare, and I genuinely mean that. I met Ivan, and it would never have been about the money, or being successful or being known for something. I could tell there would be that behind it, but it was always about the passion to want to help other people. And I think in the early days, I introduced you to a lot of people and clients, and everyone said the same. It's exactly as you said, Jamal. There was never anyone that just said, "Oh, okay, big deal. What's this about?" It was always, "God, this is completely different." And I totally get you, about Ivan. Obviously, having a background of being a health coach and doing neurokinetic therapy and functional breathing, I think it's that whole package. You go in the gym, you're de-stressed, somebody that understands your entire life, how busy you are at work, what stresses you might have at home, and kind of how they use that to make you feel better, which is obviously now our strapline for the company. And I think at the beginning we tried to replicate that. We tried to find what I would call mini Ivans, and then we knew that was never gonna work. So I think it took us a bit of time to take a step back, look at some of the principles we wanted, which were having very highly qualified coaches, which subsequently we found. People with typically some kind of professional sports background, which now we found. People that have technical specialisms such as physiotherapy, which we've now found. But I think ultimately the person and the reason behind still continuing that passion and determination and creating that culture in the gym and now with the app is, it all comes from Ivan, for sure.
Thank you both. Thank you.
think,
Thank you so much. But without you, it's not possible to do anything with this.
I think what differentiate Ayam from others, and what me and Karis and Ivan wanted to do is we wanted always to find something it's not there. And Ivan helped too much actually in this one. With his expertise, with his background that he carry. And I believe also the people, when they start feeling that, we are different, they start engaging more with us, and they have found this one. It's not that only we talk about it, but it is a reality. Fitness, it's an ocean. It can contain everything, but the implementation of it, this is what determine. As Ivan said, that lot of people now, the life, the time that we are spending now, everything is just fast. Everything, people does not have time, to set, to plan maybe, or everything just running quickly. And within this, we should not forget fitness. Mm-hmm. Fitness that comes with a quality and the proper planning. And this is what Ayam is looking for more than any other things, is the well planning. So there is always a head plan for whoever is joining us. Personally, I have found it not only of how my body has been shaped, but even how is my health general been shaped. So in Ayam, they are taking care of everything, not only as a muscles, not only as a shape, but they are taking the fitness more than what is it now, and with a lot of people, with a lot of PTs. Some of these examples, like, how to help me to sleep, and how to help me to not be worried, and how to be positive thinking. And I remember that every time when I used to train with Ivan, first question he asked me in the morning when I met him, did you sleep well? I haven't found this one with any of previous BT that I used to train with them. And that shows how important is this question is, did you sleep well? And when I used to tell him, well, it was only 5 hours or 4 hours. No, Jamal, we needed, to do something then about this one. What you are doing here. And I remember that, he started advising me of some of the steps that, I have to do, or and what I can achieve, at least, a number of hours enough, for my body to recover. And he worked around the program that, fit my lifestyle. And this is additional differentiation that, Ayam is about. We look at the lifestyle of the people that join Ayam, how their lifestyle is somebody's overload with the responsibilities, and how can we help him, to find the time to exercise.
I mean, that's a really nice place for maybe Ivan to talk to us about, because sleep is obviously very important to me. It's something I've struggled with probably since about 2016. I have moments when it's much better, moments when it gets a lot worse, definitely when there's stress at work. But for me, my training has helped my sleep the most, which you, of course, know. So And I think in I Am, we now, within our vision, we have this concept, right, about sustainable health and strength and sustainable well-being. So perhaps, Ivan, you can tell us a little bit about what we mean by that.
Yeah, I mean, just to add everything, like, everything what is achieved until now, which we will now open the subject about that, is, of course, it's always teamwork, and sharing responsibility is something what I think it's not only related with the work, but also related with the life. So I think what I found in both of you working like a team is that sharing responsibility and giving support. So the most challenging part, before I just continue with answering your questions, like to find the right people, like you said before. So we were searching the market. You all both remember how many interviews we did with the people. They're fit, not fit for us. This is missing. This should be better. And then needed like around 6 months to find, or they found us, Hossam and Dana. And very interesting about both of them, just seeing them without saying anything, I knew that's it. So we need to find someone who will share our values, personal and professional values. And if you remember, it needed like another year them to adapt fully, to people start to talk about them, to share the knowledge. And we brought one more coach, Mariam, who continued, and then everything was like a building up until we spread our methodology and our wisdom, I think, of the training and health and strength coaching on a very, very like a positive and influential level for others. Like Jamal said, people seeing us in the gym, they not understand what we exactly do, but looks different. Our trainings are from 0 to 100. In one moment, person will like doing some breathing, releasing trigger points, and then the same person is like a 100 kg deadlift. So people are like, okay, what is exactly behind this? So finding the right people, I think that was the most challenging part at some stage. And when we start to spreading the word and people seeing us, actually the most of our clients coming through a lot of referrals, and which is actually one of the biggest values we have. And now 3 years after, I can say that like we achieved really like a something what is special. And I don't want to go much in this, but we just prove how smart business, smart thinking can bring something valuable. It's not always about investing big in something. It's sometimes about the hard work, about know how to, when to push, when to slow down. So now we have 12 coaches. We have staff, different departments. We have our partnership gym with the Faroes Club. We have our application, and things are just moving forward like in very nice and smooth way. And again, I like what I learned from both of you professionally is when to use the brakes, when to use the speed. So this is now the beauty of that. I think we are in position where we need to use that art of left, when need to go left, when right, when straight, we need to wait. So everything what you both said about diversity of I Am, it's actually about that.
One more important thing I believe also is about I Am is, and it's one of the most for me, one of the most important thing. I am focusing on the serious people who want to achieve something, want to achieve a result. So they educate the people how to be serious and how to take the session in a serious way. A lot of people, when they enter to the life of the fitness or for the PT world and to start, taking the sessions, some of them, unfortunately, they do not take it serious. He just have a plan to enter a gym, but how ready he is, how serious he is, it's not that, something that, he care about. IAMS comes and educate and play a big role of how to take these sessions really serious. If you wanted to achieve something in your life, it cannot just be with a plan. You should be ready for it. And you should be surrounded with the right people around you, enabling you to achieve the result. And IAMS is the team, is the people that will always help to achieve a result. Anyone can go with any PT, can go with any gym. What I have found different, I've been in the fitness world for good numbers of years, not as an expert, but I'm training. I love fitness. And what I found really about I am, not because I'm one of the founder or a partner, but it is there. How to be serious about fitness. You wanted to achieve something with you in fitness level, then how you should take this one serious. This is I believe one of the point that really differentiate also I am than others.
If you remember, that was actually our target market, right? We spent a lot of good time trying to think what that looked like. It's different now with the app. Obviously, any app is more about getting it out there to lots of people, making fitness accessible. But at the outset, when we were just about personal training, kind of coaching in the gym and online, that was really where we defined what our target market was, which was high achievers wanting personal growth. Because I like what Jamal said. I think it's people that are disciplined, people that have the ability to just keep at something, form very healthy habits. I think they're probably the clients we have that are the best and have achieved the most results. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah, I mean, definitely the target group is very specific, and I think we've been very sharp with that because we had a certain age and we saw the trends. Even today, we have like more than 160 clients, so we can see they're all like in similar like age group and similar, I can say like a professional drive and personal, and I think integrity. And what Jamal said, what you said, I think that's something what we need to be also honest. And we said the IM is not for everyone, but actually it is for everyone. But also creating that culture, that physical training actually should trigger other changes. Like Jamal said, it can be different things. Like maybe how you eat, for Karis, how you sleep, or how you're dealing with the stress. So that's the idea behind. So I think it's very not easy to deliver that to the public because it's not very commercial, but in the end, people will understand. And this is what's exactly happening. People understand more and more. They talk about sustainable health and strength, sustainable well-being, which is actually the crucial for longevity and to have happier, healthier life.
I think we felt at one stage, if I'm not mistaken, that we were a bit stuck, right? And probably a lot of business owners feel that way. There was a point at which we knew what we wanted to achieve. We knew what we wanted the company to stand for. We were looking for good coaches, which was a really, really big challenge to find good quality coaches. But I think there was a moment when we wondered what was going to be next. And Ivan, maybe you can then tell people to reflect back on the last 6 to 9 months and kind of what's happened with IAM, particularly with now the premises we have and then obviously the future, looking forward and the app.
Yeah, that's very interesting question because if I start from myself, I think the biggest challenge was to create the value. And, creating the value, which is you cannot touch, you cannot see, but you need to feel. So creating the value was the most challenging. So when you create the value, you've been seen then outside. People can see it in the gyms. People can see it in behaviors. People can see it in communication. So that was I think the biggest thing. So we created such a big value, starting from 3 of us, then extending that values to the coaches and other employees. And yes, that was a very challenging period because we were wondering, okay, now we have everything ready. What is next? And I think we attracted with that what we did. We attracted like something what is happening right now, where people want us, they want to see us, they want to be part of us as a client or as employees. But we created like such a big value, which is really now difficult to break it because we have a standards criteria structure now for everything, and it needed a lot of time because we started from, I can say, 0, and after 3 years I think we really achieved something what is should be, I think, in some business books, like a manual how to create the value and then that value to attract everything what's happening now.
And perhaps we can spend a bit of time talking about our own health and strength, right? Because there's a lot there in terms of our story and why we set up the company. I mean, if I speak for myself, going back now, 5 years, a lot of people know my story, but really felt like I needed something for myself. You know, I'd had my children, I had a very busy working life, and it just got to that point where, I needed some time. It took me about 3 months, I think, when I started training with you to really figure out that this is for me and I need to commit to it, even though generally in life I'm good at committing to things. I'm very good with keeping good, healthy habits up, but it took me about 3 months to stop feeling guilty that I needed to spend that time with myself and not rush home to see my children. But I think as a result, people are always very surprised when I say I have consistently trained maybe for the first 6 to 12 months 3 times, 3 times a week, and then I moved it to 4 times. And I think I've not really, apart from maybe when I've been on holiday, I still try to train or online. Occasionally a couple of times when I've been sick, but outside of that, I would say there really is a handful of times when I've missed training. So, that's something I'm very proud of. I think it's all about discipline. It's all about habits. People always ask, how do you manage to squeeze it in? But I think, the busiest people can manage to squeeze it in. That's a fact. I've always been good with my food, so I've never really needed to have someone support me with nutrition. I know that's not the same for everyone. I think the weak points for me that continue to come back, albeit training helps me a lot with it, is my sleep. That's just because I don't find enough time to rest. I think Jamal is someone who is very bad at that as well. We share our stories on that, but I think, if you give advice to someone, resting is a really core component of kind of fitness and health. And I'm not good at it. I rush between work, the gym, my children. So I think my goal for 2025 is to really try and find the time to have more of an outlet for myself. I find that, just having a walk at the beach now in the fresh air is what really helps decompress me. It makes me feel calm and almost always helps me sleep better. So I think, we're all on a little bit of a journey for progress, not perfection. I don't think anybody can say, well, if they do, good for them. But I don't think anyone can just say, well, it's easy, right? You go to the gym every day and you eat healthy and it's all good. There's always something. My sleep is my Achilles heel for sure. I mean, Ivan, maybe tell us a little bit about your health and strength.
Well, definitely because training is engraved in my DNA because I was in sports since super young. And that's something what was quite natural for me. But when I start getting injured in sport, when I was, like I said, a professional athlete, I realized that so many things I'm doing wrong, and plus on top of that, I learned about that. I studied about that. I realized actually how many things are people doing wrong, and now when researchers are coming up how important is strength training, how is it important to breathe properly, how is it important to do mobility, how is it important to do for example foam rolling or myofascial release, or why is it important to do power exercises, everything is coming in order. So we created the concept, which I also implemented in my own training, is like to do all this but do it in a certain order, because of the multiple stuff related with anatomy, biomechanics, physiology. So that's something what is very unique, and I'm implementing my training as my like a daily routine. So it's something why I should not skip, because if I need to eat, if I need to drink water, if I need to sleep, also I need to train. So which is very difficult to explain to the person who never trained. And putting that, I think you said one of the things which I remember, like if something need to be done quickly, give it to the busy person. So that's exactly where both of you and Jamal coming from, and myself, I can do so many things in one day if I organize myself properly. And this is what people are missing. It is organization of the day, because training is 4% of one day. So training for me, just daily routine, which is engraved, for instance. So I'm lucky because, my parents, my environment helped me in that, to be physically active. I was doing like a professional athlete, 2-3 times the trainings per day. So for me, it was not difficult to do that, but what was difficult and challenging is how to do that, to do like the best possible and safest and with the biggest progress. So this is why we're implementing now this in IAM.
And what about you, Jamal?
I was suffering from an injured in my shoulder, and I didn't realize that how bad is this injury. That's due of the wrong practice and wrong exercise that I used to have by previous PT or by myself. With IAM, I found that it start getting improved, because still I never stopped training, but they know how to make it in the right way, because they have the specialist to help you with this one. I need to say something to everyone. If you are looking for the quality, then definitely you have to think of IAM.
Mm-hmm.
Because IAM will ensure to give you the quality.
Would you give people, either from a health and strength coaching perspective or even professionally, if they're wanting to set up a company, because we've been through that journey for the last 2-3 years and it's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it that you would advise people?
In this field, definitely patient, because you cannot fast in the result. And as well to be serious, and to have it as a lifestyle. So result will come. It's how much you are ready and how serious you are.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe, with IAM, you will have the result. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I mentioned that recently. I think people need to learn not only in the training but also about life, how to use the brakes, because speed, people can die from the fast speed, but idea behind everything is to learn how to slow down. So in our sessions, we also teaching people how to slow down, why training is important, why it's important to sleep. So learn how to use the brakes, not only speed.
And I think from my perspective, I hear people talk about goals a lot, which are incredibly important, right? It's amazing to have goals, whether they're professional, whether they're personal, but I think goals will only get you so far. I always say to people, it's about the habits that you form, and they can be small habits. I've just read a really interesting book called Atomic Habits, and it's always about starting small, doing a small change every day. So for the fitness side, it could be maybe I'm going to go to the gym for half an hour once a week. Then I'm going to start doing it for an hour. Then maybe I'll move to two times a week. But it's just formulating those habits. I always say to people, habits, and then having the discipline to keep those habits up.
I agree.
I agree. Right.
Thank you both.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank
It was
you.
an absolute pleasure talking
Thank
to
you.
you.
Same. Thank you both.